Yo, what's up, guys? It's Serial.
What's up, guys? It's Reed, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Mando Pod.
Today, we're going to be talking about Chapter 9, The Marshal, The Mandalorian Season 2. Episode 1 just came out on Friday, and me and Reed have now watched it, talked about it a little bit, and today we have some things that we're going to talk about. Some things you might have missed, some things we found interesting. Like I said in the last episode, we're going to be doing this every Monday. These episodes will drop, so please drop a sub and drop a thumbs up if you want to continue along the Season 2 journey with us. So let's get into what we thought and what we saw in the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching.
By the way, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the premiere of season 2 for The Mandalorian yet, before you watch this, make sure you go watch it. First, let's start with the Easter eggs that we saw and the callbacks from different Star Wars franchises and episodes of Mandalorian. First, we see the return of Pelimoto, the mechanic from Mos Eisley, who is still in love with Baby Yoda and was very relieved to see him. We also noticed that Mando was previously not okay with Peli's pit droids working on the ship the last time he saw them, but we see that he learned from IG-11 and has turned around on how he feels about the droids. We also see that Peli owns R5D4, the same model that Luke's Uncle Owen tried to buy in A New Hope and blew up because of a bad motivator. We also see Cobb Vanth's speeder bike is made of the chunk of the same pod racer that Anakin had in the pod race in the Phantom Menace. We also, of course, see Cobb Vanth sporting Boba Fett's armor and jetpack, which we also see Mando hit in the same way, in the same manner that Han Solo did in Return of the Jedi, causing the person riding the jetpack to fly aimlessly.
What stood out to me to start episode 1 of season 2 was the direct parallel, almost kind of identical to the season 1, episode 1, where you see the Mandalorian. He's quiet, but you can feel his presence. He walks into, and this episode is a fighting arena, but in episode 1, season 1, it was into like a local bar, and immediately just he is straight to business, straight to action. There is no, you see Gore Koresh kind of telling him, yo, let's not talk business right away, and the Mando is not having it. He's just straight to the action. He's on a mission, and he's just relentless. So you see him take out multiple people, just like you see him do in episode 1 of last season. So just from the very first few minutes, I could tell that this was one of those shows and one of those seasons where it was just going to get right into it, and it was just action, 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 which I really love to see. And then you see him when he's leaving, hang Gore Koresh up to the light pole and tie him up, and you see him shoot the light out. And I saw a direct parallel this time to Star Wars Rebels, to where the creatures attack in the night. They don't like the light. He shoots the light out, and you can see their eyes like you can see in Star Wars Rebels in that dark hangar. And they attack him, and you don't see it, but we imagine, or you can infer, that they do, in fact, eat him or kill him. So I thought that was pretty cool. A lot of parallels early on into this season already.
So after the intro and the Mando's reacclimation with Mos Eisley, we see him take a trip to Mos Pelgo in a similar speed to that Anakin rode in Attack of the Clones. As he enters the town, we see him again taking that strong presence while not saying anything at all. He enters the bar, greets the bartender, asks about if he's seen any Mandalorians. The bartender replies, saying, I know of someone who wears Mandalorian armor. We then cut to the doorway, and there it is, Boba Fett's armor in the flesh. You see that it kind of doesn't really fit the shape of the person wearing it. kind of given it away from the start that it wasn't going to be Boba Fett. We see the man in Boba Fett's armor take a seat, takes his helmet off, showing that it is indeed not Boba Fett, but the character Cobb Vanth from the Aftermath comics, played by none other than Timothy Oliphant, an acclaimed actor known for simply playing a gunslinger. He really couldn't have been written better for the role. A star in Deadwood and Justified. He was really a great choice for the character, in my opinion. Anyways, we see that Mando is not too happy that a non-Mandalorian is sporting Mandalorian armor, then kind of starting this one-on-one face-off that is then interrupted by the Crate Dragon.
Yeah, Reed, the Crate Dragon was crazy, and I immediately thought of the 1990 movie Tremors that also features this giant worm-like thing that travels through the grass, and in this on Tatooine, it's in the sand, but they look almost identical in appearance. And I like, this thing is massive, but I loved how it also spit this thick stomach acid and was just like melting people like kind of out of the way. And so I thought that part was really cool. And also, I loved on Cobb Vanth's Boba Fett armor, the rocket in the back that could just like lock on, even though it didn't really do much damage to the Crate Dragon. I thought it was really cool piece of his armor, of Boba Fett's armor. But how, speaking of the armor, how he got the armor was he was actually stranded in the desert, and he was picked up by, are they Jawas? And they rescued him, but the only thing he had on, or the only thing they had that he wanted, was this armor that he had. So he gets the armor from them finding it somewhere on Tatooine. We're not specifically sure where, but they have it in their collection of stuff that they travel and accumulate. So they kind of barter and trade, and he gets this now armor. And so this is how he gets the armor, and you can see it's a little worn, a little degraded. Maybe it went through the stomach acid itself, but it's really beaten up and really kind of like broken down. So that's how Cobb Vanth gets the armor, but it was a really cool and unique creature and use of the Mandalorian armor.
So after we hear Cobb Vanth's story and his background, we see Mando come together with the Sand People once again, or the Tuscan Raiders. Cobb immediately shows some hostility towards them, as we learn that they've had some issues with violence in the past between his town and the Raiders. Soon after coming into contact with the Crate Dragon and in the Sarlacc pit nest, we learn that they're going to need a lot more firepower to be able to take this thing down. Mando kind of forces Cobb to put his forces together with the Tuscan Raiders in order to take down this beast. After that, we see the Raiders arrive in Mos Pelgo. You feel the tension between the villagers and the Raiders. Cobb Vanth has to separate the villagers and the Raiders at one point after an explosive was dropped on the floor. After that, we see the Raiders and the villagers, Mando, Cobb Vanth, and Baby Yoda all arrive back at the Sarlacc pit nest, where they start setting up for the battle between them and the Crate Dragon.
So after they come together, they all go back to the pit. They set up a trap where they strap a bunch of basically explosives to the bait, and they bring the bait to the entrance of the cave, and they gather around. Mando has a plan. They're supposed to detonate it right up underneath the soft spot. That's where the Tuscan Raiders say it's at its weakest, so they try to draw it out. They antagonize it. They're shooting deep hooks into it. They're shooting at it. Obviously, it's not doing damage, but they're trying to make it mad and kind of piss it off, so it comes further and further out so that they can't kill it. And of course, like any good plan, it goes bad, and they have to kind of think on their feet, which we've seen Mando be very quick at, sometimes with the help of others, but sometimes in a pinch alone. And we see him step up and try to play hero. I was thinking that Baby Yoda would play a part in this, but being episode 1 and Baby Yoda or the child is very small and weak, it didn't do, much. But Mando steps up and, like a hero, he kind of shoots Boba Fett's armor, how it was shot in, was it Return of the Jedi? What movie was it, Reed?
Yes. Yeah.
And so it's shot, and he's shot out of the way, and the jetpack kind of moves and shoots off with Vanth inside of it, like it was in that movie. And Mando sacrifices himself down into the beast, and we wait, and then boom, Mando uses some kind of electric volt to kind of get the beast to release it from its mouth and back outside, and he blows it up. And both groups enjoy their win and are happy they're finally at peace. And we see towards the very end a mysterious figure kind of turn around, and Reed's going to talk about that now.
Right, and right after the Crate Dragon battle, we see Cobb Vanth hand over Boba Fett's armor to Mando. We see Mando ride off with Baby Yoda in the speeder, and then we see a wide shot of a mysterious figure. We should have seen it coming. It was spelt out from the entire episode. We see the figure turn around, and it's Tamira Morrison, better known as Jango Fett, better known as the Clone Trooper. And it was a very exciting callback for the prequels. One of the bright spots of the prequels was Jango Fett and his shiny silver armor. It's cool to see the actor make a return to play a legendary character such as Boba Fett that we've missed so much from seeing on screen. Some interesting things in the episodes ahead. Boba Fett, who does he know? Why is he there? Why didn't he try to intervene? Did he see his armor or something? Could Grief Karga possibly know Boba Fett from past years? Because we have to know at this point that Boba Fett was an established bounty hunter. Grief Karga is essentially the same caliber of established bounty hunter as far as what we've seen, how many people he knows. It'll be interesting to see how Ahsoka makes her appearance at some point in the season. Not sure if there's going to be some history between Boba Fett and Ahsoka. It'll be really interesting to see what callbacks, what flashbacks we might see. But it's really looking exciting after a strong first episode of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, Reed, I was glad to see Boba Fett at the end because I was very, very worried that it was going to tease the whole thing out and give us nothing and make us wait a whole nother week. But I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they ended the episode like that. Thank you guys so much for watching the Mando Pod episode 2. And we look forward to watching and then reviewing the Mandalorian Season 2 Chapter 10 episode next Friday with our Mando Pod episode 3 airing next Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Like always, don't forget to subscribe to continue on this journey with us. And please leave a nice comment and a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much.